Have you ever just looked at your life, maybe a really busy week, and felt like you're caught in something weird? Like a strange loop?
Mm.
You know, you're doing all the right things, working hard, chasing that progress, aiming for convenience. But deep down, it just doesn't quite feel right.
Yeah.
It's almost like the world we've built, well, it doesn't quite fit the humans actually living in it.
That's a feeling I think resonates with a lot of us.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what the article we're looking at today gets into.
Right.
It's called Society Backwards, a reflection on modern life. And, it's not really a harsh takedown or anything like that. It's more like a philosophical meditation. It kind of holds up a mirror to how we live now and just invites us to really, truly see it. What's fascinating here is its gentle approach.
Exactly. It's not pointing fingers. So the core question this piece kind of nudges us towards is, what if we've actually built a world that doesn't truly serve us?
That's the heart of it.
And our mission, really, in this deep dive is to pull out those little nuggets of insight, those poignant moments from this introspective piece, to help you think about whether we're building lives that genuinely nourish us, or if we're maybe just going through the motions. Okay, let's unpack this. Starting with work. I mean, it's where many of us spend so much time.
Right.
The article points out this fundamental paradox, doesn't it? We often say we work to live. That's the goal, right?
Supposedly.
But the reality for so many people is that we end up living to work, you know? Those endless deadlines, the back-to-back meetings, the to-do lists that just never seem to end.
They just eat up the time.
Exactly. They consume the very time that's meant for, I don't know, joy, rest, real connection with people. Here's where it gets really interesting.
Because you'd think, with all our technology, productivity has just skyrocketed compared to, say, a century ago. It's unbelievable.
Totally.
But the article makes this counterintuitive point. All that progress hasn't actually freed us. It hasn't given us our time back. Instead, we're still feeling exhausted, right? Still busy, still chasing more.
Yeah.
More stuff, more status, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It just doesn't add up logically.
It really doesn't. And the author uses this fantastic little anecdote, the spa weekend thing.
Yeah. Yes.
Think about it. It's kind of absurd. We work ourselves into the ground, get completely stressed out, and then we spend the money we earned to recover from the stress of earning that money in the first place.
It's this perfect kind of capitalistic Ouroboros, isn't it? The snake eating its own tail, earning, just so you can afford to recover from earning.
It's mad.
And that cycle, it highlights something crucial. If we connect this to the bigger picture, it shows that productivity, just churning out more stuff or hitting more targets, doesn't automatically mean a better life.
Right.
More output doesn't necessarily translate into more peace or more meaning or, happiness.
And that connects to the next point, too, about convenience. Because it's not just work, is it?
No, it bleeds into everything.
Yeah. Our lives are, on paper, more convenient than they have ever been. Groceries delivered, meals appear with a tap, furniture, whatever you want. It's just clicks away.
Instant gratification.
Yeah. But for all this supposed ease, do we feel better? The article suggests maybe not. That many of us actually feel more hollow, more tired.
And what the article seems to be getting at here is that maybe convenience has replaced something more substantial. Like, it's replaced meaning with just speed.
Speed, yeah.
We've become incredibly good at optimizing everything, making things faster, more efficient. But maybe we've lost sight of why we wanted things faster in the first place.
Oh,
What's fascinating here is we're optimizing, maybe, but are we actually living more fully?
That really makes me think of that powerful quote by Pascal. You know, the one?
About sitting alone in a room?
Yes, about humanity's apparent inability to just sit quietly alone in a room. The article brings it up, and it feels like such a sharp observation about our culture today. It's like we're allergic to stillness, isn't it? Allergic to silence.
Constantly seeking distraction.
We're just bombarded with stimulation, always moving, almost like we're afraid of what might surface if we just stopped for a minute.
Exactly. And the insight there seems to be that convenience, when it's not guided by some kind of intention, some purpose, well, it can just lead to emptiness. Speed isn't a replacement for peace. It just isn't.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit to mental health. This is something we talk about all the time now, which is good in theory.
Yes, the awareness is higher.
We acknowledge it's important. We encourage self-care. But the article points out this subtle, kind of sneaky contradiction. Society talks the talk, but it often quietly rewards, burnout. You know, you're encouraged to rest, sure. But maybe just on Sunday night, right before the Monday grind starts all over again, it feels like a very conditional sort of permission to care for yourself.
It's a very limited scope, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the script that society seems to hand us around this, it's full of these double binds. The article highlights this tension perfectly. Be authentic, but make sure it's marketable.
Ugh.
Or be yourself, but, not too much. It really suggests that deep, genuine healing, real well-being, that's often just incompatible with the demands of a purely capitalist framework. This raises an important question about what we really value.
And that ties straight into the whole social media thing, doesn't it? The article calls it a mirage.
That's a good word for it.
Because it looks like connection. It sort of manufactures this feeling of being connected, but the reality often is that it breeds isolation and endless comparison.
The highlight reel effect.
Exactly. We're constantly stacking up our own messy, complex, real lives against these perfectly polished, curated highlight reels from everyone else. It just makes you feel worse, doesn't it? Amplifies any insecurity you already had.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, what becomes really clear is how this algorithmic world we live in prioritizes presentation over actual presence.
Presentation over presence.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It encourages performance, the curated self. And that constant pressure to perform, it fundamentally undermines genuine self-acceptance because the focus is always outward on how you appear rather than inward on who you actually are.
Okay, let's unpack another big one the article tackles, this idea of meritocracy.
The myth.
Right, this deeply ingrained belief that if you just work hard enough, you will succeed. The article really pushes back on that.
It have to.
It gives these really stark contrasts, like, someone juggling 3 jobs, working incredibly hard, but still unable to afford basic rent. While others inherit vast wealth and seem to flourish with, let's be honest, minimal personal effort. It strongly implies that these structural things, privilege, timing, inherited capital, luck, they play a huge role. Maybe much bigger than we like to admit.
It's a fundamental point, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's fascinating here is that it forces us to confront a potentially uncomfortable truth. The starting line just isn't the same for everyone.
Not at all.
Effort is important, obviously, but it doesn't automatically equal outcome in a system that's already shaped by deep inequalities. It's not about diminishing hard work, but acknowledging the landscape it happens within.
And this then connects directly to the idea of freedom, doesn't it? We talk a lot about being free.
We do.
But the article asks, are we really? Or are we constantly being nudged, tracked, funneled by algorithms, by consumer culture, by all these unspoken societal expectations?
Those invisible guardrails.
Yeah. Think about how a simple recommended for you shapes your choices, or how chasing engagement online pulls you into certain ways of behaving. It makes you wonder, are our dreams even entirely our own? Or have they been subtly pre-scripted by the system we're in?
That's a sobering thought. It suggests that real freedom, perhaps, starts with recognizing those scripts.
Right.
Real freedom means having the capacity, the awareness to actually imagine and then pursue a life that goes beyond the standard template we're handed. It's about conscious choice against the current.
Okay, now this next part is really unique. The article's creator shares something personal, a kind of behind-the-scenes struggle. And here's where it gets really interesting, because it brings this whole theme right home.
It's very revealing.
They talk about their own challenge with authenticity, working within the system that, let's face it, heavily rewards things like virality and monetization. The creator sort of reflects on how pushing their own stuff, Patreon, books, courses, can sometimes feel, well, a bit disingenuous. Even though they genuinely believe in the value of the content itself, it's a real conflict.
It's incredibly honest. And they use this brilliant analogy, comparing money to potato chips.
Oh, yeah, I loved that.
It's like, potato chips aren't really nourishing. They're not what you're truly hungry for deep down. But they're right there.
Yeah.
And they're just hard to resist.
So easy to just grab another handful.
Exactly. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, it's such a powerful metaphor for how easily even those of us trying to critique or resist the system can get pulled into its patterns.
Yeah.
Pulled towards things that aren't actually aligned with our deeper values, even with the best intentions.
That personal reflection, it just shows how deeply embedded these pressures are, doesn't it?
It really does. It demonstrates that even when you're aware, even when you're actively trying to push back, the currents are strong. You can subtly find yourself adopting the very patterns you set out to escape.
So after exploring all these different facets, what does this deep dive into society backwards really leave us with? What does this all mean? It's crucial to say the article isn't offering like a 5-step plan to fix everything.
No quick fixes here.
No. It's
Yeah.
more like a gentle but quite profound call to just reimagine things.
Yes. And what's fascinating here, I think, is the core encouragement to fundamentally rethink what we value,
Hmm.
to look beyond the usual suspects, productivity, money, even convenience, and ask, what about other things? What about time? What about stillness? What about genuine human connection, integrity? Could those be our primary metrics for a good life?
It's really an invitation to just pause, to actually notice what's going on around us and inside us, to question the narratives we're constantly fed.
Question the defaults.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily about some massive radical overhaul overnight. It could just be about making small, conscious shifts, tiny adjustments towards, as the article puts it so beautifully, just being human again.
And look, the contradictions woven into modern society, they're complex. They're deeply ingrained. They certainly aren't going to be solved easily or quickly.
For sure.
But awareness, this kind of reflection we've been doing,
Yeah.
that's the essential first step, isn't it? This raises an important question. Once you see the pattern, do you choose differently? Awareness enables choice.
It does. So perhaps the thought to leave you with after this deep dive is this. What's one small, unbackward step you could take this week? Just one little thing to align yourself more closely with what truly nurtures your well-being, especially if it goes slightly against the grain of how things are supposed to be.